It is a pleasure to be with you. You are my we family, and I think together we are certainly family. And so I indeed want to let you know that you are so special. You mean so much to countless people that you may never see, may never know, may never get to hear an affirmation from. And I'm not just talking about the students you serve, but it's really about the circle of influence that each person that you touch has in their circle of influence. You make a difference. And so with the time given to me, I want to make this profoundly clear to you. I had a student come to me unexpectedly, a 14-year-old girl, and she uttered these words to me, and I seared them on my heart and memorized them. She said, "Who can I turn to? I'm a person lost in the world. I do not know where to turn. I'm a girl wanting to achieve at anything and everything I do. I want to be treated like I exist. I want to be seen for more than the outer me, but I want to be seen for the person that's placed inside of me. But I feel like I'm all alone in the world. I feel like there's no one or nowhere to run to when I feel like it's the end of me. Sometimes life for me will never go right. As much as I try, it will just never go right. So what should I do if the problems I face won't come up from this deep, dark place inside of me? Who can I turn to if I can't turn to the person who gave life to me? Who can I turn to?" Those are real words from one of my students that forced me, compelled me to immediately give that student a hug and say, "You have an educational father forever. You are never alone. I see you." Secondly, I said, "You have just articulated something that millions of people across the world identify with. Wanting to be treated like the person placed inside of me. Wanting a place where no one will hurt me. There are adults today being hurt and in traumatic situations, saying and feeling the same way, not to mention students. And I want to tell you that you, as teachers and educators, are the ones that students turn to when their own mother or father and the persons who gave life to them aren't there to even turn to them. You are loco parentes, in place of parent. But the key piece is 3 S's that are essential in life. All people wish to be seen. Seen for more than the outer me, but seen for the person placed inside of me and you. In this day, a wise person told me that we need to have less otherhood and be a land of others and more sisterhood and brotherhood. We need people to see one another and embrace the differences and the similarities, and then go to the next stage and say, not only do I see you and acknowledge you like we acknowledge this land that we're in right now, we support you. I see you and I support you. That is the power of the we organization, and that's honestly what we teachers is all about. A teacher hub of support, a beloved community of sisterhood and brotherhood, of people who chose to come together, to take their own personal time, and sometimes against great odds, and others saying, no, there's more important things, don't do that. And we came together and will come together to support one another. Because when we do, anything is possible. And that's the last S, that you are sufficient. You have the power. And if you individually do not have the power, then certainly we have the power. Nothing great can be accomplished alone, but anything is possible with the power of we when we work together. How do I know this? As the superintendent of schools in Ferguson, Missouri, where most of the world knows it for the death of Michael Brown Jr., we were able to come together through the power of we and bridge the mother of the slain child and her constituency, which was following the anger and the movement and burning things down, and say, we are better than this. Let's build things up. And using the we curriculum of service learning, we partnered with the St. Louis County Police Department, the very group that we were in opposition, and that group that was in opposition with, now partner together through service learning to create new vegetables and new fruits with the students and the adults, the police, and the family of the slain Michael Brown Jr. And at this very day, we have we gardens at every school, our schools in Ferguson, our schools in Jennings, and beyond. The service learning became a vehicle, a conduit to say, let's stop with the otherhood and let's create new fertile ground of sisterhood and brotherhood. And so I must say that there is violence in our silence. So many people are walking with a heavy burden on their shoulder of not knowing where to run to when they feel like it's the end of them. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in the United States of America. Trauma and mental health matters. Mental health matters and trauma is real. So we must end the violence that's perpetuated just through silence. Part of seeing you is also hearing you. And so as a system, I'm so pleased to have worked with We Schools and the We organization and with other mental health organizations to be able to say we are centers for healing engagement. That is the official vision and action every day. That means that every school, every park, every place that we're at is going to engage in healing. How do we do this? Every school has 2 comfort rooms. One for the adult teachers who need a moment away from the stress of life, because it's hard to give if you're empty, if you're leading on empty. And so comfort spaces are present for teachers, like a sauna environment with some cappuccinos and other things, scrunchy balls, but it's also present for our students with action figures and games to have a mental moment of biofeedback, knowing how to have visualization of going to your happy place or being in a place that makes you happy. Secondly, as a trauma-informed district and the first We Schools district in the state of Missouri, every school has 2 therapists. Every school. 3 therapists are dedicated to staff alone, just to go by and say, how are you doing? How can we help you do what you do more? We see you, we support you, and together we're sufficient. Let me give it to you this way. There's a good book that's called The 5 Love Languages. I know many of you have raised it or read it, and I'm going to ask you to show hands, raise your hand if you've read it. About a few of us in here? Yeah, all right. I'll just give a summary for those who haven't read it. 5 categories are given to define how love is shown and received. The 5 categories in that book talks about time. That's the only asset you can never get back, so it's valuable. Secondly, service. Thirdly, words of affirmation. Good job. I'm proud of you. You're important to me. That's real. That's a love language. Thirdly, and I like this, and we like this one, a gift. I'm the type of person that doesn't just want a gift for my birthday. I want a gift on a day that has no significance. If you're one of those people, yeah, let's give me an amen on that one. Amen. For sure. Give me a gift on a day that's not special and you said you love me. And the last one is positive and healthy touch. A high five, a fist bump, a dap, a hug in a time of need. Can you imagine just today how many of those you've received from people who you know and you love? Can you imagine how many times you received it from a stranger? I know many of you in here received at least one of those from a stranger, because I'm a stranger to many of you, but I gave you hugs and so forth. And you're like, who is this man? It's all good, just a love language, just a little pickup. There are so many adults and children who have not received one love language from a stranger in years. Not one. Imagine the effect that has on your psyche. I've had students who've said, we are going to solve a problem through our We Schools initiative of ending hunger and give food to the hungry and give groceries and create grocery hubs where they distribute grocery bags to many homeless families, but many hungry families. But the beautiful miracle in it was the students who were giving the love language of a gift of food at no cost received smiles. Thank you. You have fed us for a week. You don't know what this does for my family. And a hug. To the point where at my alternative school, where students get sent because they don't fit in society, when they hear someone say and look at them like, thank you, you touched my family, they've come back and said to me, I've never felt this way. Adults don't look at me like that. How can I get more of that? How can that become the norm? They usually look scared when they look at me or like I did something wrong. They're looking at me like they love me. And that is the power of giving something that touches someone's heart. Centers for Healing Engagement. And the fact of the matter is, we have some people on the bad team for those children or adults that haven't had one act of love language for a year. There are people on the wrong side of society that are giving that affirmation, that time, that attention. We don't have to name them, but just to make the point clear, sex trafficking of youth is real. Drug distribution of youth, using youth, is real. Gun-carrying teenagers to protect turf and turf wars, that is real. Let's not have the wrong side and team give the affirmation of you can be like me, another enemy to society. Instead, we must be Centers for Healing Engagement that says, I see you, I support you, and you are sufficiently able to be all that you can be with amazing positivity. And so that's why I am proud to be a part of this family, the We family. That's why I'm genuinely proud to be with you. And results like 100% graduation, it is laudable for 3 years in a row. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when a heart has been transformed and healed. When a life has been empowered and engaged to be the change that we need in a society like today. So I leave you with the charge to get whatever resource you can, be so engaged in this movement and any other one that decreases otherhood and increases sisterhood and brotherhood. Thank you.